Here, here we are, ready to go. Welcome to Money Mondays. I am solo today, sad not to have my colleague Paul Johnson with me, but I am Belinda Ray. I am the Director of Strategic Partnerships here at Greater Portland Council of Governments, and you are here for Money Mondays, returned from the holiday break. I hope you all had wonderful holidays and did not get COVID like I did, but I'm better now. It's all good. If you have questions as I go through, please pop them into the chat or the Q&A, and I'll see them at the end and I will answer them. And if you have questions after that, you can always email me, email Paul, and we love to be helpful. So let me, as a solo artist here, get ready to share my screen. There we go. Back here and share. Okay, so here we are at Money Mondays, and I'm going to talk to you today about the Casco Bay Estuary Partnership Grants and what those are. There's a nice QR code here and a link if you want them, and of course I'll provide links at the end as well. But these are grants by the Casco Bay Estuary Partnership that they give out to municipalities, among others, to improve climate resilience. And you can do that through community planning, through habitat restoration, data collection, and monitoring. So there are actually 3 grants here, which we'll talk about. Eligibility is municipalities always. I don't bring things here that municipalities are not eligible for, but 501c3s, academic institutions, state agencies, and interestingly, chartered road or lake associations, which makes sense because runoff, we're talking about runoff here. So if you are one of these, you also need to be within the Casco Bay watershed. Pretty much all of the GPCOG region is in the Casco Bay watershed, with the exception of Standish, Durham, and Scarborough, but everyone else is in the Casco Bay watershed. And if you are part in or part out of the watershed, that's okay. They will count you there too. So there are 3 programs here, as I said, 3 separate pots of money, and we'll take them one at a time. The first one is resilient communities. So this is, I think, the one that is probably best for municipalities, although there is another. This is to advance any planning or to strengthen networks that will help you increase your community's resilience. So if you want to do a climate action plan, if you want to hire someone to help you do a climate action plan, and GPCOG does that, this is a good grant to help you get the funds to do that. And it would probably just about cover it, would cover it. If you need a climate vulnerability assessment, or if you want to take the first step, start engaging your community and prioritizing, educating, prioritizing, getting things started, this is the grant for that. Second one is resilient habitats. Now, this one is where you have a project in mind within your community, and you actually will take tangible steps. You're going to use this grant money to help you get some things done. Might be a site assessment. You might be working on the design of the project. Permitting costs, these pre-development things can be covered with this grant. This is like installing culverts, removing dams, these kinds of things that help to restore aquatic habitats. So that's the second one, resilient habitats. And the third one is monitoring infrastructure. And this also could benefit municipalities. So if you have a group that is interested in doing water quality monitoring around, say, a construction site, or maybe an industry that is near a river that might run off into Casco Bay, part of the watershed, this can help you set up that program, support that program, get startup supplies, things like that. So that's the third one. All 3 of them together, resilient communities, resilient habitats, monitoring infrastructure, and you can actually apply to all 3, and you can apply multiple times to all 3. You could submit 9 applications here for 9 different projects in 3 different categories. And that's fine. They will only choose one per applicant. So, think about that when you're doing it. But the application is open. You can put it in anywhere multiple times. So let's just review the key features here. The funding is up to $25,000. And as I said, that covers a climate action plan, really the steps to do that, the beginning steps, and getting yourself pretty far into the process. Um, the requirement is, yes, you have to be in the Casco Bay watershed. But as I said, if your town is part in, part out, or if you're applying as a region and part of the one town's in and the others are not, they're going to consider those applications. They like collaborative projects, so it is good to have partners here. And they also will prioritize smaller communities, rural communities, low income populations, people with limited staff capacity, new Mainers, serving new Mainers. And if you have working lands or a waterfront economy, that will bump up your application too. So this is a two-part application. The first step is to put in a pre-application, and that's pretty quick. It's an online form, very quick to answer these questions, to explain what it is you want to do. And then they will let you know by January, actually you apply January 17th, and then they will let you know if you are selected for a full proposal. You put in your full proposal, and then awards happen in the fall. So it's a pretty simple start. I gave it a 3 because if you get selected, you do have to do the second part. But all in all, pretty easy to get into this one, and worth exploring, always worth exploring. As I always say, even if you don't get a grant, when you are applying, you tend to assemble a wealth of information that will help you with your project, but also with future funding opportunities. So it is worth pursuing. Here are the things you'll want to consider for next steps. We've got the actual request for applications. There's a webinar you can view to get more information. So you fill out the pre-application by January 17th. They'll let you know in a week if you get to submit a full application, and then that would be due on February 28th. And as I said, awards in the fall. There are office hours coming up if you have questions, and there's a particular contact there that you can get in touch with if you have questions about developing. Oh, that's the other thing. I forgot to say that. So they will help you. So if you do a pre-app and you get selected, Casco Bay Estuary Partners will help you develop the full application. So you're not going to be on your own, and that helps to make the process easier as well. So sadly, no Paul, which is always, I know, the highlight of these Mondays, especially when he's got his belt. So maybe we'll get him here with the belt next week. And I hope you'll come back and join me again. And thank you so much for spending this part of your morning with me. Happy day. See you later. Money Mondays.